Let's bring in Congressman John McGuire, a Republican representing Virginia's 5th District, a former Navy SEAL. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today.
Absolutely, Josh. Thanks for having me on. You know, a lot of fake news running around, but I got to tell you, that was an incredible mission. You think about our service members, our men and women conducted this mission. They flew halfway around the world, undetected by China, Russia, or anyone else. They delivered their payload, destroyed, obliterated the target, and got out undetected, everyone safe. Amazing teamwork, and just an amazing example of our men and women who protect our freedom.
And you touched on this already, but I did want to get your take overall on the strategy that was used, all of that as it did play out. Of course, information coming in over the hours that followed and, of course, the days that followed.
Yeah, well, you know, the thing is, President Trump has been consistent. I know his heart. He does not want to get involved in a forever war. He wants peace. And I remembered in his first term, every president in my lifetime said they wanted a peace treaty in the Middle East, and they got 0 peace treaties in the Middle East. But in his first term, President Trump got 2. And you can see the negotiations for the treaty are fragile right now, but he's got peace in the Middle East, and he absolutely should be put in for the Nobel Peace Prize. I'm actually signing on to that legislation to recommend him for the Nobel Peace Prize. But that mission was performed perfectly. And think about the OPSEC. No one knew about this. I mean, the OPSEC just shows professionalism of the people around Trump. There were no leaks. And again, our military got the job done. I'm just amazed and impressed. And I think, you know, I think I've reached a new level of cynicism in the halls of Congress when yesterday the squad, some of the Democrats, put in to impeach President Trump. And I'm thinking he denied a state sponsor of terror, Iran, of having a nuclear weapon, which would kill millions, could potentially kill millions of people. And even the allies of Iran didn't step up and say anything or do anything to defend them because, as President Trump says, Iran is the bully of the Middle East. And so I think secretly they're celebrating.
And I do want to pop this up right here on your screen, coming in from Truth Social and President Donald Trump via his social media. He did say just now, "We just caught the failing New York Times working with fake news CNN cheating again. They tried to demean the great work of our B-2 pilots, and they were wrong in doing so. These reporters are just bad and sick people. You would think they would be proud of the great success we had instead of trying to always make our country look bad. Total obliteration." So going there, of course, with what you and I were just discussing here. Now, I did want to ask, because you touched on this a little bit, but we know that there are several folks that are on the other side of the aisle from you who have said that President Trump did need congressional approval prior to carrying this out. What do you say to them, and why do you feel that is not the case?
Well, there's a lot of hypocrisy. You know, our country has gone to war 11 times in our history, but we've had 125 military actions where the president used force to protect American people at home and abroad or our interests. And so what's interesting is Senator Kaine, when Obama was in office, put in legislation to increase Obama's war power. But now that Trump is in power, they want to reduce Trump's war power. I'll let your audience decide, but if that's not hypocrisy, I don't know what is. But under Article 2, the commander-in-chief can use our military to protect the American people and American interests. And I fully support President Trump's actions.
Do you think the issues here, the conflict between the U.S. and Iran, is it over for now, or is there more to come?
Well, first of all, I'd say this. If you're on a basketball team and you hate your basketball team, you're never going to win. That's why it's so important that we have a unifying message and we love our country and teach patriotism. And we have 40,000 American men and women servicemen in CENTCOM in the Middle East right now, and they are in harm's way right now. And so we need to get rid of this divisive politics stuff and support them. But yes, we have a peace treaty going on right now, and I trust Trump. He is our commander-in-chief. He hasn't steered us wrong. He's a powerful leader. Every president says they want to stop Iran from getting a nuclear weapon, but talk is cheap. President Trump, I know it was a difficult decision, but he made the decision, and he almost single-handedly stopped a state sponsor of terror, Iran, from getting a nuclear weapon.
And you talked a little bit about some of the legislation and things of that nature, all related to the possibility of a Nobel Peace Prize for not just that, but also talking about what we've seen between Israel and Iran with that ceasefire deal. Before I let you go, can you kind of walk me through the process there and why you want to be a part of it?
Well, absolutely. Because, I mean, look, we're the party of life, and I'm certainly pro-life. And like I said, President Trump doesn't want to go to war. But I got to tell you, Iran's ability to project military power is greatly diminished. I never thought in a million years I would see Israeli fighters being refueled over Tehran. So they really have to come to the table because they have been just obliterated militarily across the entire country. In addition, their ability to enrich uranium for a nuclear weapon has been diminished. And so I think that we're going to have peace, and I'll do everything that I can to be part of supporting that peace in the Middle East.
All right, Congressman John McGuire, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Anything else you want to add at all about any of this before I let you go?
Yes, well, I'll tell you something really neat. So as a brand new congressman, I've been here 6 months and we're having a lot of success. Yesterday, just before votes,